March Madness expansion. How about court storming in college basketball? NFL players, there's 4 wide receivers that we're going to talk about. One of them has to go. That's all on the way on Chatt It Up. What's going on? Welcome in. I'm Greg Larner. To my immediate left is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Chase Green. CG, that was a terrible high five.
Sure was.
And to his immediate left, Garrett Tolley back in the building. We missed him.
I'm back, baby. I had a funeral. Is that better?
Yeah. That was better.
Yes.
Can we try again as well?
Yeah, let's try
Let's try again.
Oh
my God, that was awful. There we go. Jeez Louise. All right, so not a great way to start off the show, but we're going to get into a lot of different things. Joseph is here with us as well. He's got himself a camera again. He's got his hat turned around.
Here he goes.
Joseph Guthrie. There he is. Yeah, he's back. He's feeling a little bit better than he was last time around. So we're happy to have Joseph back in the mix and here with us. No Malcolm Harris. Unfortunately, he's traveling. And for the next couple of weeks, that's going to be me, boys. I'm going to be without you guys for the next couple of weeks. Now,
we'll miss you.
Yeah, we've got a show that we've got a special guest coming up for you, already scheduled, coming up on this Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, you guys are going to be flying without me on Sunday, and then the next Thursday, then the next Sunday. So I'm going to miss you guys.
Yeah, I know. It's
I miss you guys. I'm going to miss you guys too.
That's a long time.
It'd be a long time. But you're not going to terrible places.
I mean, Central Arkansas.
Conway, sneaky good little small town. I told you.
It's not Conway, South Carolina.
No, but then but Conway, Arkansas actually might be better than Conway, South Carolina.
What?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Have you been to Conway, South Carolina?
No. I
Very
like
nice.
Conway.
I haven't heard of either of these places. Now I know about Central Arkansas, but they're purple, right?
Yeah.
Like the
yes,
college? The
I believe
purple.
so. Yeah.
Like
I believe
the Wildcats or something.
I have no idea what their mascot is, but we're playing them at some point next weekend or this coming weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and then off to
Madeira Beach,
the
Florida.
terrible place of Florida.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. It's going to be tough.
We will have tan G in about 3 weeks.
You know, one of the girls on the softball team actually asked me if I tanned. I used a tanning bed.
I feel like I don't know, maybe Jersey Shore Greg may have done that, but not Greg of today.
Never have I ever went and entered a tanning bed.
Okay.
It's just a nice Italian, Sicilian skin, you know?
Dude, I used to date a girl who literally put baby oil on her skin.
Ooh.
And I don't even know what it was, but it was like a Cheez-It cracker box that she put, she taped tin foil to and would sit back like that.
What?
I mean, I think she may look like that football right there.
Yeah.
Very leathery.
If she kept it going, or your baseball glove. But yeah, I remember
very
that.
leathery.
Yeah. And I could never keep up, man. I mean, I'm as bright as day, you know.
That is not something. You're blessed with many things, but the super tan skin.
No, I'm fluorescent.
It's all right.
We had to adjust the lighting in here for me.
We sure did.
Yeah.
We sure did.
Yeah. A little pasty.
I saw a girl in Walmart today that had that overtly tan skin. You're like, that's tanning bed, and I think she has a self tanner. Like, come on.
It's a little much.
Come on,
A
girl.
little much.
She was definitely of college age. Probably, I mean, I guess they're getting close to spring break, but I'm like,
Yeah, and that's one thing the girls talk about sometimes is hey, spring break is coming up. We're going to Florida, and I got to get, the layer on, the tan layer on before you go. Because if you go and you just try to get the sun there, you're going to end up getting burned.
yeah, that's true. But also, I'm just like, I don't love the orange look.
Oh, neither do I.
Of a tan.
You got to find the happy medium.
You sure do. Sure do. You play an outside sport, it'll be all right.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. You won't burn too badly, hopefully. Anyways, there's been a lot of talk in college basketball lately in terms of court storming. That's been a thing because Duke big man Kyle Filipowski, you may have seen over the weekend after Duke lost to Wake Forest on Wake Forest's home court. The court storming ensued, and as you know, that the fans go a little bit wild when it comes to a court storm, and they just run with reckless abandon onto the court, onto the field, whatever it may be, and with no regard for any of the players. Now, I think court storming and field storming are fun. They're exciting. It's part of the moment. I would never, ever want to take that away from somebody who got a chance to experience it at Neyland Stadium after Tennessee defeated Alabama a couple of years ago. That must have been incredibly epic.
They threw the goalposts into the river.
To the Tennessee River. They sure did. They did. It was wild. It was the first time they beat Nick Saban ever at Alabama, correct?
And that was the last time he ever came there.
That's the last time he would ever come. Hey, you guys ran him out of coaching.
You're welcome, SEC.
There you go.
You're welcome.
Yeah. We'll see if he really goes anywhere based on our conversation from last week when it comes to the NCAA and SEC and Nick Saban maybe not staying on as commissioner, some sort of a commissioner when it comes to college football. Anyways, court storming. Duke loses to Wake Forest. Everybody storms the court. Kyle Filipowski gets, bangs legs with a student that runs onto the court from Wake Forest. He twists his leg up. He has to be dramatically walked off by a walk-on and a trainer.
Yep.
Honestly, boys, I think he was milking it just a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I think so, too.
But I do believe that there has to be something done about court storming. Either you don't do it, or you have to find a way to hold the students back until you get the opposing team completely off the floor. Because to just let them run on the floor, reckless abandon with all of the players from the opposing team, and it could be a hostile type of thing. And John Shire talked about it after the game. You got people trash talking these players, these kids, who just played an emotional game.
Yep.
They're probably emotionally charged. Something could happen. Words could be exchanged. There could be a fight that breaks out. Nobody wants that. How do we feel about court storming? Again, I think there needs to be regulations, if not a ban, in my opinion. Again, I like it, but
not a ban.
It's getting unsafe.
Not a ban, but there does need to be regulations. I mean, they already have fines if you do it, at least for football. I don't know about basketball.
I think there is in basketball too. I think that's the SEC.
But there's a fine, but the thing is that where's the security? I mean, it's on Wake Forest, it's their responsibility to make sure that at least there's some security to hold back, like Greg said.
Have you seen the security they hire at these basketball games?
Joke. Mall cop ass.
I know. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's Paul Blart.
Bare bones.
It's Paul Blart, dude.
Hey, shout out to Kevin James.
Amen. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think you ban it though. I think, but at what point? When is it appropriate to court storm? Because again, that was Duke's fourth loss this year to an unranked team, and Wake Forest has a winning record. I mean, yes, they're ranked 8th, but I mean, did you really need to court storm that game? It's not like you took down UConn, who's
Duke. Like, that's in their conference. That's a huge win on their home floor. Duke ranked inside the top 10.
I get it.
But I think that's what's weird is like
they shouldn't be.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I mean, let's be honest. We have soft players like Kyle Filipowski just falling on the court.
True.
But no, I felt like it used to be a court storm was you had to be inside the top 5. I used to think that. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's just old school like observation. We only saw it on Sports Center, and it usually was like a top 5 team. Now, there's a lot of court stormings. Like, I feel like Virginia somebody beat Carolina a couple of years, and they're like 14th, and I was like,
it's all the time.
It's all the time. Like, I get it's fun, but it's a little much.
You think it's the social media age? Like, it's like, hey, I'm on the court.
That's the main thing. That's the main thing is like you get to live stream, you're on the court.
Yeah.
You're on Instagram Live and you get your push. You get your social push. And that sucks.
There is currently ACC schools do not have a fine structure or disciplinary measures in place for when fans rush the court.
This is the SEC big time.
When it comes to the SEC, they fine for court storming. One time is $100,000.
Jump change.
Second time, $250,000. Third offense, $500,000.
So no Paul Blarts in the SEC security teams.
Oh, no, there's plenty of court storming. LSU was just, they had it. I was reading an article here that said they were fined $100,000 by the SEC for court storming recently after they upset Kentucky.
When you have donors, they're like, I'll just pay it. I'll just pay it.
But it has to make sense to storm the court.
Yeah, like LSU upset number 17 Kentucky.
Like, I don't believe in that.
Come on, like I think you make a good point, Chase. When you're in Garrett, when you guys were talking about like if it's a top 5, like maybe let's say it's a top 10 team, but a major rival.
Yeah,
then let's storm the court. If it's the number 1 team in the country, yeah, on our home court. Creighton, you want to storm after beating UConn? Go for it. But again, let's put some regulations involved in it. Mm-hmm. Now, that does take away from the court storming a little bit, in my opinion, because It's not the immediate, like right after the final, whistle or the buzzer or whatever, and kids come in. It's the immediate storming of the court. I think it takes away from it a little bit if you put in those regulations of like, hey, like we have to make sure that the opposing team gets off the court, that personnel is all gone. Okay, now it's just like the delayed. It's like if you end a game in baseball on a replay review, instead of getting the initial like, hey, punch out, game's over, we got to go through the replay process. Then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, now we win and they're out and yay, it's delayed reaction.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing with the court storming if you put a regulation in it. So what's the better choice? Do we regulate it or do we just get rid of it altogether?
You regulate it and just call it a day. You're not going to get rid of it. Those kids, they want to run the court. That's just
if they really want to get rid of it though, they're going to get rid of it. And you got now these big name coaches calling for this to be done because you got a player injured. I could certainly see them banning it.
Yeah.
No, because like if you watch that, yeah, I should like to. Honest. But like I grew up a Duke fan, but if you watch that video, yeah, I think he's milking it? Yes, but he does get pushed. He legitimately hopefully we can get that up, but like have the viewers watch it. But he gets pushed legitimately, and so I do think that you should you should just have an extra fine on that for malicious intent of court storming. I don't know. I'm not a freaking lawyer.
Yeah, that's another part. I wonder if you go the legal route, like if they were to be like, all right, we're going to make an example out of that student. I wonder how much that would change it. If you looked at it from a perspective of we can attack you individually in the courts after you attacked our guy.
I mean, how long would you think that? I wouldn't take that long to find out who exactly did it.
Oh, no.
They've got video of it and everything like that.
There's 1,000 cameras out there.
Yeah.
Like those college basketball games, that's the most impressive thing to like watch these media centers. You're like, whoa, there are too many cameras. Like, so for us to miss a call blows my mind sometimes. But that's the thing is I think you're going to have to take legal ramifications against said student. And that's going to look really bad on the already big bad of the NCAA.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to do it. If you want to regulate it, that's how you're going to have to do it. Like they will come get you and they will ruin your future life savings.
Yeah. John Shire's going to be like, hey, we're going to have you sit out this next game. We're going to have a healthy scratch.
Yeah.
Or maybe not an unhealthy scratch.
No, well, yeah. He's like, well, you really need to take care of that ankle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's going to be something like that. Because if he comes and plays this next game, well, he's fine. But
yeah.
And hopefully we'll be fine. Honestly, look, like as much as I don't like Duke, like I hope Kyle Filipowski's okay. And I hope that nothing serious happened to him, whether it's his knee, his leg, his ankle, whatever it may be. But there's got to be some sort of change in college basketball. Well, again, whether it's a ban, whether it's a regulation, and now you've got all these coaches talking about it, media personalities like ourselves are talking about it. Not that we have blown up or anything big, but there are obviously big name shows talking about this very topic as well. So something's going to be done. I believe that something is going to change and something's going to happen when it comes to court storming, field storming, whatever it may be, just because it is, it's a safety issue with these players and these personnel, and it could be a hostile type of thing. Like you don't see that in professional sports. It's only in college.
Yep.
It's only in college. And speaking of college and college basketball, the Madness of March is almost upon us, fellas. It's the end of February as we sit right now, February 26th on a Monday. And we've got the Madness of March coming right around the corner. And with that being said, we are going to have 68 teams in this year's tournament.
Mm-hmm.
But the NCAA and their president is looking into a potential expansion of the NCAA and March Madness. NCAA president Charlie Baker has floated the idea of expanding the tournament from 68 teams to potentially as many as 96. Now, the number may not end up being 96, but they're looking into expansion with the high watermark number being 96 teams, and said the organization is studying the concept. Friend or foe, like or dislike? That's where we'll start. We'll talk about if it's actually going to happen, but do you like the idea of adding more teams, even if it's not 96, Chase?
I hate it. I really do. I feel like we're even getting to it now of like, what the 11 seeds have. There's been some 11 seeds that have done pretty well out of the play-in game. So I do like having one more squeak in. You know, there's injuries, there's things that happen, and some of these 11 seeds have been good. Syracuse always feels like that zone's just a terrible matchup for anybody that's not in the ACC. They go out and play an SEC team or whoever out of the Big Sky. And they're like, crap, what do we do with these monsters that run a zone? But if you add more, some of these 16 seed play-ins are tough to watch. You're going to add more of that crap, like more of like these teams. I mean, who else would even get in now? Now you're looking to be the first 4 out are like Villanova. We watched Villanova last night. We watched them get the crap beat out of them by a really good team, by the number 1 team in the country still ranked.
Go Huskies.
Why do we need to watch that again and again and again? Like, sure, they might eke out an upset, and then now we're just lost a team, and then they get that whatever seed that would be, the 21st seed goes and gets blown out the next game, but they just took out one of our better teams. Like, as much as we want to talk about how much we love upsets, when it gets down to the Elite Eight, you're like, man, I really wish we had a better team. I don't know any of these guys. Like, It's cool to have FAU. It's cool to have all these other teams. But then when you get to it and it actually gets to the big weekend, you're like, oh, man, I really miss our Carolinas. I really miss our namesake guys. Like, it's fun to find out if you're a college basketball junkie, but for the most part, watch ratings. It just doesn't matter. Like, that was one of the lowest rated Final Fours ever last year because nobody knows who these guys are. And when you start taking out these teams again, because it will happen, we've watched it over and over again, where these ranked teams go in on the road and lose. I think this is the biggest year ever. It's been like in the 30th percentile range where a ranked team will go into an unranked team's home court. And, you know, it happens every once in a while. You get some upsets, but it's happening a lot this year, like in the 50, 60 percentile. And now you're just wanting to basically add that to another run, unless you're going to start doing home court. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Don't you love Chase's emphasis?
I do.
He's like, it is a lot. It's like he finds somewhere deep and it's like, it's happening.
Yeah. Need that. I need to let that be known that this is going to suck if it happens, because you're going to be adding, I guess it'd be a whole nother weekend, right?
You would. Yeah. You'd be adding a whole nother weekend, which some would argue is not a bad thing for college basketball when it comes to, you know, having more of this, you know, many more men getting vasectomies and around this time. You know, if you had an extra weekend, it kind of gives you a little extra recovery time or basketball watching. So that's always fantastic.
What are you talking about? Where is that?
It's the truth.
It's the truth. It's a known fact that there are more vasectomies scheduled in the month of March than any month, because guys just get a chance to sit home and watch basketball. They don't have to go to work. They get the surgery.
What?
Yeah, you never heard that? Oh yeah,
I've
that's the
never heard
vasectomy
that.
month, baby.
Yeah.
It's the time to get it done. So you can just sit in front of however many TVs or screens you have and just watch basketball all day, every day.
No idea.
Yeah. So after you have your twins, you can just like, bam, just let it go.
Yeah.
Whenever you're having a baby, just either you guys having a baby, just boom, go knock it out after that.
Yeah.
But I can't.
It's going to be in March.
It's got okay, yeah. I mean, why not?
Yeah,
why not? Okay, I just learned something new, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So
no, to your point, when it comes to the lower seeds making it to Final Fours and championship games and deeper into the tournament, I'm really in the minority in that situation, because I understand what you're talking about. Like, people want the blue blood, they want to see the big teams. Like, it's fun early. You know how, you know, you get a Stephen F. Austin that makes a run, or an FGCU or George Mason. They upset a couple of teams and they make a nice little run, maybe to the Sweet 16. But then when you get down to the Sweet 16, Elite Eight, Final Four, championship, like, you want to see the blue bloods. For me, I love seeing the underdogs. Give me FAU in the Final Four. Now, obviously, I didn't want them to beat Tennessee last year. That was disappointing. I didn't want that, but I really enjoy those stories.
Yeah.
Even if I don't know any of the kids, I don't care. It's just like, how is this team, who's not supposed to be there, going to handle a huge moment and try to maybe knock off a blue blood? Can we continue the Cinderella ride? Do you guys know the lowest seed to ever win a championship?
Was it the 7 seed UConn team?
Close.
I don't know.
8 seed Villanova in 1985.
Oh, wow.
No.
Yes.
I didn't bring my computer. So,
yeah, you got a phone right there.
Yeah,
That's plenty of internet capabilities
but
nowadays.
That's technology, brother.
Phone.
But I mean, I see what you're saying, but I do. It's a flip coin here. I mean, Chase's point is that for the masses, if we're talking about ratings, you need blue buds.
Yes,
but
100%.
If you're thinking about the future of college basketball, I think the margin is getting smaller every single year. I think a lot of these mid-level schools, those players are just as good as a lot of the big school players who've been hanging around for a while. So, I mean, the margin of talent is getting a lot smaller, and we're seeing it more and more every year. That's why there's more upsets. That's why there's a lot more teams like making it further. And so, but my question is this, is that does it actually find you the best champ? Is it the true champion? With that many games, I just think there's too much, again, chaos to really have the true, who is the best team in the country?
That's the problem.
Yeah. I wonder, too, if they might wind up having the same situation as the NBA, where college basketball teeters in the realm of the regular season not mattering even more so now.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Part now is going to look at it from who the crap cares? Like, we just got to win enough games. Like, if you get a couple big wins, you know,
finished a little above 500. No problem. We're getting into the tournament. You know,
that's what I told Bliss the other day.
It just devalues the whole thing.
She got really upset when Tennessee lost. And I was like, listen, honey, it's one game. I mean,
it's not like football.
Yeah, it's not like football where like it affects everything. Like, you can lose a few games, and like it's all about seeding at this point of the year. I mean, you're playing for seeding, not to win your conference.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone cares about conference championships outside the tournament. Like, does anyone really care who wins the regular season conference champion?
I mean, it's nice, but I mean, it's again like
the kids care.
Yeah, but and again,
because you want that.
It goes back to the postseason. They would rather. I think they would rather win the SEC tournament because it's a lot more viewers than they would the SEC regular season, and that's just a part of it. Yeah, like G said, it definitely matters to them. Like that's pretty awesome to like go win the SEC, especially right now. But I really worry that we're gonna start not caring about that even more so. Like, and we're in a part of the country that cares. There's a lot ain't. We were watching USC and then UCLA for about 5 minutes last night. We're like, I don't even want to watch.
Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah,
dude, that was like two historic programs. Oh, UCLA is really, but still USC, they have their moments, and it was like a terrible game.
Terrible. They're bad, and you have one of the best NBA draft prospects in Collier last night, and you're like, oh,
and you got Bronny James on USC, and USC stinks this year.
I mean, they had it. I didn't even know that they were a sub 500 team.
Yeah.
I mean, again, West Coast in general, those kids don't care as much as you. That's what about the Southeast, man. I mean, these people actually give a crap. You know, they're out here like they have a in their blood sports. But when you get to West Coast, I don't think it's all about, entertainment and showtime.
They love it at UCLA. They really do. But USC is so finicky.
I don't know, man. My cousins played at UCLA, and I don't think that their fans were nearly as
football or basketball.
Football.
Okay, yeah, not football. Basketball, they do. Like they pack the house. Like there were people camping out for
really
the whole day before that USC game, which is weird. Okay. I was like, just don't go.
All right, ESPN analyst Jay Wright. He's on one side of the spectrum in terms of getting more teams in. He said, and I quote, "If we can extend that excitement an extra week, then why not?" End quote. And then that just comes down to the reason why it's probably going to expand at some point, because whenever there's some sort of expansion in sports, it comes down to dollars and cents. Hey, this is why they're having this conversation. You know that, right?
Oh, duh.
Because it comes to, hey, how can we make more money? How can we find a way to take our already great product and expand it by more time? That means bigger contracts with the big TV companies, the media rights, things like that. You get exposure for more kids and programs and stuff. And, the money is huge when you talk about having an extra week. We talk about adding an extra playoff team in the NFL. It's more money for the NFL. Mm-hmm. They've got more eyeballs on them. And that's what the NCAA wants right now by talking about expansion.
Well, does the regular season get cut a little bit?
Nope.
I don't think for basketball it would, like football would.
Mm-mm.
Not by much, if anything. You might like see less of those little tournaments. So you're probably seeing,
like those Maui invitationals and stuff.
Yeah. It'll just become more how we were talking about softball and baseball. It'll you're just going to play your X amount of games. It won't be tournament style. I think the Maui always be there, but there's a few others. It's like, oh, let's go play up in Oregon for this Nike one that was like, I guess the back half of Maui too. I think some of those will get cut down, but a lot of it so much of it goes back to dollars and cents. And I think a big part of it is sports gambling and adding on how much March Madness means to the casinos. And if you don't think this world is ran by that, you're crazy, because look how much money has gone into the products since gambling has come into these different states. I mean, the salary cap for the NFL went up $30 million. And you're like, oh, I wonder why. Oh, yeah, FanDuel. Oh, yeah, DraftKings. Oh, yeah. And it just matters. It just matters. And with March Madness, I got to go last year during March Madness, and I was like, holy crap, there are so many people. And there's a lot of Swifties was there during that week. So that was incredible. But the March Madness weekend for all the bros.
You were at the pool, though, right?
We were at the pool.
You did the pool party, March Madness.
And there's nothing better than talking trash to some other group you don't even know. Just you and your bros versus those bros talking about Michigan State and whomever they were playing, you know?
Yeah.
Just because you got a 50 spot, something like that. Yeah. So it's fun. But I think that's a big part of it because it's all dollars and cents, G.
Yeah. ESPN analyst Jay Billis had a different side of the coin on this one. He said, and I quote, "Never underestimate the NCAA's capacity to do something stupid."
Bingo, Jay.
And yeah, and when it comes to the NCAA and March Madness and all of this, again, it's all about the money. And eventually, they're going to do this. They're going to expand. It may not be 96 teams, but it is going to expand because they want to make more money in some way, shape, or form. That's just you see it all over sports nowadays. Mm-hmm. They're expanding playoffs. You get the NBA, the play-in tournament now. There's more teams. Do we need play-in tournaments in the NBA? No. Absolutely not. We were talking about it off the air, and it's like the NBA is the one sport where it's like the more talented teams were always going to win. They're always going to win the championship. Now, you may get that in March Madness sometimes. You get the Cinderella stories, yada, 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 whatever. In the NFL, generally, there's been a lot of parity here lately, but a really good team is going to win the Super Bowl at some point. So the NBA, it just feels like there's not a whole lot of parity there. The more talented teams, the teams with the most star power generally come out on top.
Mm-hmm. I really don't want to watch the Hawks at a playoff game, and they would be the 10th place.
As much of a Hawks fan as you are.
Yeah.
And Trae Young, I think I just saw, is going to be out for a little while now.
I don't know if that helps or hurts us.
couldn't hurt much more.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's the tough
try
part.
Something new.
try something,
let them go.
As we were talking about last night. All right, boys, get shots up. Trae's out. Here we go. Let them rip, baby. Let them rip.
Oh, man. All right, well, speaking of the NBA, there was something interesting that I saw recently. I believe it was on Bleacher Report, and it was Jason Tatum talking about how he has a chance to become the face of the NBA. It's mine to take, he said. How do we feel about that? After LeBron James leaves the NBA, obviously is he 40 yet? He's almost 40. Mm-hmm. If he's not 40.
He's 30. No,
39.
He's been there for 20 years. 18 when he came in, so he'd have
38.
to be 39 in his 21st year. So
okay, so 39 years old. Great math. Way to go.
Hey, man, I passed the third grade one time. So let's get it.
Numbers guy.
That's the only time I ever went to summer school was in third grade.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang, Jay.
Yeah, this is true. Made me go to summer school. One of the best things that's ever happened to me. Struggling a little bit with the reading, and we're good to go now.
Okay.
I can sort of read now.
I've been watching you read all day. You're doing great, buddy.
Thank you.
Keep it up.
Appreciate it, pal. Yeah. So Jason Tatum says he has a chance to become the face of the NBA. Do we agree that Jason Tatum could be the predecessor to the face of the NBA when it comes to post LeBron?
Fake news on that one for sure. Not Jason Tatum.
Who would you put up there?
Oh, you know who I want to put.
Luka Doncic.
Luka Doncic. If it's not already happening, tell me whether the next face of the NBA is going to be an international player, either Jokic.
Why
do I say Jokic? I always think Joker.
Joker.
I think it's Joker.
Yeah, Joker.
Luka, Giannis. Giannis, honestly, he's not going to stay at the Bucks. And if he goes somewhere else and starts winning again, I mean, I think he's the face because everyone loves him. I don't think anyone really loves Jason Tatum.
I think he's a very keep to himself guy. He's great because he's no problems, respectable, cute kid, like all the little things that are solid, but I just don't think he has a big enough personality. I think you're right. I think Giannis, Luka have big enough personalities. And I think Joker's lack of caring is almost comedic at this point. So that's another
people
point.
Love that.
Yeah. Another one that I think has a chance. I don't know if this team can do it. Great regular season right now, but I think Anthony Edwards among the kids right now. Joseph, do you agree? Why do I not hear you? He said he's a Georgia boy.
Yeah. So he's all about Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
I do like Anthony Edwards. I think he's actually pretty funny.
Oh, he's great.
He's hilarious.
Good actor too.
Wasn't he the guy who came into the league and was just like, I don't really like basketball that much?
No,
I don't think that was him.
I think I remember that being him.
But he has that personality. He was just like, I just happen to be good at this, and and that's it. So I don't think any more to it than it happens to be.
Yeah, but now he's the guy that cares so much. Like he loves playing two ways. Like he loves going to face the best player on defense. He loves going to get a bucket. And I think
he's the most athletic of the ones we've talked about.
Yeah, and that matters. Like if you're a highlight reel, plus you got a big personality, plus you can do the things that you talk about. Like that's another part. I don't know if Wemby has the personality. I think he is. Gosh, he might be Tim Duncan 2.0, where he winds up being a top 5-10 player, but very even keeled bro.
We haven't seen that out of him yet, though. Like, you kind of come out of your shell as you get more comfortable in your job and your company, and like you start making more connections, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is the real you.
Yeah,
he's still like a new kid in class.
A little bit, but I think he's so well trained. I don't know if he's ever going to get out of that. I think he's so well versed already, and he's just going to be perfect for never making a mistake in the media. It's very Tim Duncan like.
And I love that. I love Tim Duncan.
He's so Spurs. It's gross that they keep getting these guys.
He's the Spurs is the freaking Packers with the quarterbacks.
That's a good point.
Good comparison.
Is it freaking not?
With big guys, like with the number one big guy that's versatile, plays defense and offense. Oh my gosh, that's amazing, Spallet.
Yes.
Smallest market, I feel like.
Yeah. It's the only sports team there.
Yeah.
And people love the Spurs in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very similar to Green Bay.
Anybody else?
Well, I do have one, but I did find where Anthony Edwards was talking about coming out of Georgia, how he's not really big into basketball. Here it is. And this is from complex.com. And it said, ahead of the NBA draft on Wednesday, top prospect Anthony Edwards shared that he is, and I quote, still not really into it, end quote, when it comes to basketball. Speaking with ESPN for a profile story, the 19-year-old shooting guard didn't exactly showcase much enthusiasm regarding his future in the NBA, and that he, and I quote, can't, end quote, watch games.
I'm so glad we have you. He's just pulling things right out.
I remember this.
And it's right. It is a good poop.
He continued on and said, and I quote, I'm still not really into it. I love basketball. Yeah, it's what I do, end quote. That's all I need to, well, that wasn't part of the quote, but yeah, he's just loves it, but he views it more as just like a job instead of like a passion. Like I'm really into it. Like, I don't know if that guy could be the face of the NBA.
I think he changed. I think he changed a lot.
That's changed big time.
I mean, he's really good, but he could still have the same view.
You know what it is?
You watch him play now. Yeah, he's a dog, dude. Everybody talks about that has definitely changed.
I think
he loves it.
I think Draymond.
Well, he could still not want. I don't mean to cut you off. I want you to continue that point, but I think the same could be said about Barry Sanders.
Kidding me?
He loved that to play running back. He was one of the best that's ever done it, but he wanted no part of being the face of the NFL. Does Anthony Edwards want to be the face of the league? I don't know if he wants to be the face of the league.
He was in an Adam Sandler movie. He wants to be seen, bro.
I don't know.
He's got these.
That's some extra money. I mean, that's really what it could be.
He wants to be seen now. He got his little Instagram. He's doing the right things. Like he wants to be the guy, and he'll showcase it every once in a while with his little, like he loves his bulldog. He tries to do all that stuff. He's really great in interviews. he's got the big personality for it. That's my thing. I think you have to have that. And that's another thing about Luka that adds to it. He's fun and he likes the show.
Him and Jokic together are hilarious.
Hilarious.
They're like big brother, little brother.
I hope they can be on the same team one day. Hopefully in Dallas, but probably not.
What were you going to say?
What I was going to say,
Ninja kick.
Yes, and I kicked that. So I think Draymond Green said this: the next face of the NBA has to be a steward of the game. If you think about stewards of the game, like Kobe, huge in China. You know, he went over there, made a point to be international. That's why I think it's going to be an international person. Mm-hmm. It's not LeBron. I'm not saying he's an international guy, but they made him the face of the NBA as soon as they could. And he just lived up to the hype. But there's not some prodigy out there right now that ever matched LeBron, short of Victor. But I do think they have to be a steward of the game. And this is my opinion. And that's why I think it's going to be an international player, someone who can take the game further abroad and will actually travel overseas. That's what I think that's where it's at right now.
Well, Jason Tatum has always been a big time Kobe lover. Like that was his boy. He learned from him. He was really excited about everything that he really tries to kind of walk in Kobe's footsteps a bit. So I don't think that him saying, hey, look, I could be the next face of the NBA is too far fetched. The other guy that I was thinking about was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
That's a good one too.
I know he's kind of a little bit more low key, so that might not be kind of the thing.
Kids love him though,
and is he in the market? But he's in the right market.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's in OKC.
That team,
they're kind of like the Spurs and the Packers. Like that's the only thing there, right?
Yeah, that's
the only professional sports team. Yeah. And now that they're kind of becoming relevant and good again, since they had Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook and James Harden. This could be a guy that's, what is he, like third in the NBA in scoring right now at just over 31 points per game. So
they're second in the West right now.
Yeah, he's excited.
But
they're the youngest team too. Like Chet, like there's so much good going on.
Chet is legit, dude. I think Chet. I was talking to someone from Oklahoma City just this last week about that team, and yeah, they do love those. They love that team down there. So
that they do. So where would you go? If you had to pick one, you would say Luka?
Yeah, I would. I don't think Luka wants it. That's the thing. I don't think he cares. I don't think Joker does either. I think Giannis makes the most sense to me. From a personality, has a ring, has an MVP, and if he just needs to leave the Bucks. But I would say that's the most likely of who I think they would focus on. It's going to be an international player regardless. I just don't think Luka cares enough. He cares about winning, but he doesn't care about like being the face of anything. Look at him in the All-Star game.
Giannis is 29 already. So he's getting up there a little bit. Shai's only 25.
Yeah.
You think Victor? I know you said he didn't have the personality, but it's got to be an international player. I'm telling you. It
doesn't have to
I don't think so.
I'm telling you it's going to be, though.
I could see it being Jason Tatum.
I like Duke, but I don't. And I like the Boston Celtics.
They got to win something.
They have to win.
They have to win something.
He hadn't done anything.
Somebody has to win. And that's another thing I think about Luka. I don't think they're going to win. I don't think they can win.
Oh, they can this year. They can this year.
Until they change Luka. Like the heavy ball dominant guys just don't win in the playoffs. It's just facts. Like this super high usage rate stuff don't work. It won't work. And he'll have to change. And if he does change just ever so slightly, they will win. I don't know if we've gotten really good Kyrie this year. Nothing's happened. Knock on wood for you. But you never know, dude. You never know.
Gafford and PJ Washington being added to the Dallas Mavericks has made them an immediate. They've won 7 games in a row. They have better chemistry. They finally have the big man that they need. I do think the Dallas Mavericks are in a more prime position to win a championship even more so than the 2011 Mavericks, who won the whole thing. I think that they're better primed than them.
No way.
No way.
Absolutely.
The league's way better.
That team was such a great team.
It was a great team. I agree with that.
Yes.
But I'm saying from a talent perspective, they're way more talented.
They're way more talented, but the league is
more talented.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I worry about. Is like, yeah, this team would have won 4 years ago or would have been in the finals. But dog, The Thunder are good. I mean, you're just gonna have a lot of tough matchups.
Well, who's the best team? I mean, I think it's the West that has. I think the differential between 1 and 8 is the same amount as I think the East that between. What am I saying? Help me say this. The differential, the loss differential between.
You're on the right path. Yeah.
The East is in 1 and 8 is the same as the difference between.
Yeah. So like, look at it this way.
What is it? I mean, help me out here. I'm saying this completely wrong.
So basically, the 8 seed right now in the East is the Miami Heat, which you can see it. The 7 seed's the Pacers. Like, if the Pacers won the championship or the Magic won the championship as a 6 seed, you'd be like, what? What happened? How many injuries were there?
There must have been a lot of injuries.
Yes.
But if you're telling me the Mavs or the Suns won it, you're like, well, I can see a path.
Yeah, I think the
I mean,
the West
as bad
is
as the
strong.
Suns I think can be, we've only had like 14 or 15 games with the big 3 air quotes that, I don't know, you can see it working.
Who's one in the West right now?
The Timberwolves,
The
Timberwolves.
T-Wolves, and
Yeah.
then you got 2 Thunder.
the Clippers.
The
The
Clippers.
Clippers is the team that
Clippers are-
surprised me the most.
Yeah,
this
they
year.
put it together, man. They've really put it
They
together.
quietly put it together. I
I
feel like I
know.
haven't heard a lot about the Clippers this year.
No.
Yeah.
Kawhi, PG, they've got James Harden,
Harden doing what he
Zubac.
should do with the point guard role.
He's not
Finally
scoring.
works
He's
out.
not scoring that much.
No, but he's the perfect.
He's actually.
perfect
They don't need him
facilitator.
to.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He's
Yeah.
finally playing a role.
Yes.
Yeah. This year is very interesting. Very interesting. Because matchups are going to matter so much.
It's
Who
gonna be-
you're going to get in the first or second rounds going to be real tough.
It's going to be. I mean, I think Boston has just such an easy way to get to the championship versus anybody in the West.
But as G
I think
mentioned,
whoever wins the West wins the whole thing.
but as G mentioned, they've got to win something for Tatum to make sense as the face of the league.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do. And that's why Giannis makes sense because he's won something.
Mhm.
Jokic doesn't want it. He won't be the face of the league.
He wants to go to his horses.
That's all he
Luka
cares about.
wants to win, and he wants to be. I think he would want to be the face of the league. So this is gonna be interesting. There's a lot of different ways you can go. Obviously, once LeBron leaves, which is gonna be very, very weird not to have LeBron James playing basketball anymore.
I think it's about 102 points from 40,000.
Wow,
Yeah, and that's like what 3 games? Maybe.
incredible.
So
Incredible. All right, last thing I wanted to get into, something fun here. Spring training is back. As we see, I've got my little Mets thing here going on. You've got your Ronald Acuna Jr. bat.
yep.
We got a couple of baseballs here. So we're getting ready for baseball season. And a funny story this past weekend, Tim Meza, he finished in last place in his fantasy football league. So the punishment was he had to be a bat boy for a spring training game with his name on the back of his jersey and his record during the regular season on it as well, which was
Yikes.
4-10.
4-10. Yep.
Yikes. What a punishment, fellas. That's
That's a
a
good one.
fantastic one.
That's a great one. That's a fun one too. It's light.
Yeah, it's not like
Yeah.
you have to get a random tattoo in a random place that's like permanent, that's embarrassing, that like you forever have to explain. This was just a moment in time that was fun, funny, lighthearted. And I hope that he was in a league with like all of his teammates, and that's why he's doing this.
I think that's the best part about it is I love seeing when players use the fame that they have, their platform in the right ways like this. This is perfect. Like, you see a lot of the guys like the ex-NFL guys that have pods now and stuff like that. They use it spot on. This was great for baseball.
Yes. And it's the Toronto Blue Jays, right?
Yep.
It's the most Canadian little, way to go about losing a draft, an NFL fantasy football.
Great cup, baby.
There was a post on the one here on Instagram that we saw from the baseballer MLB Elites up on Instagram, said, bro must have had Akers, Rodgers, Kirk Cousins as a backup quarterback. Tough roster there.
That hurts my heart.
Could.
Yeah.
It could be. Have you guys ever have you ever been in a punishment league?
No, I've never been in one.
Neither have I.
No.
What's the most popular, or what's the punishment that you've like heard of that you would like be okay doing?
The Waffle House one is
It's the IHOP,
most,
right?
Yeah, it's the most punishment. It's the most like the one I've heard the most about, I guess, in the last couple of years. But it would also be kind of fun. Kind of fun.
And you got to stay in a IHOP or a Waffle House at 24 hours, and every pancake or waffle you eat, you cut down an hour.
Yeah, or you could just sit there for 24 hours and not eat a single waffle.
I know.
Yeah.
But dude,
yeah.
get me out of there.
How many waffles do you think you could eat
like
in 24 hours?
Like not like a Belgian waffle or like a
No,
This is Waffle House waffle.
I mean, those are still pretty. They're thin, but they're wide.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like I could get to 12.
So you'd cut your day by half.
A cut in half.
Yeah.
But I don't think I could do more than 12. I don't know.
12 feels like a lot. I would be, I'm not gonna lie to you. So I thought about the strategy because we thought about doing it in one of my leagues. And I was like, dude, if I lost, I think it would be, I'd be doing, I mean, as gross as it'd be, I'd be doing a lot of push-ups, air squats. I'd just be burning as much as I possibly could, walking up and down, doing whatever we possibly could to keep the engine rolling because I don't want to get the heck out of there. 12 is a lot of pancakes.
I know.
And/or waffles, yeah.
Waffles.
Yeah, waffles, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we like pancakes more than waffles?
No.
I do. Yeah.
Waffles for life.
Pancakes forever.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I just love them both so much.
What about you?
Both.
Fit
Joseph.
to choose.
I think it's waffles.
Joseph's a waffles guy.
Okay. Well, I'll stand on this pancake island by myself. That's fine.
I think waffle. I don't know. It's just like when you got that little bit of butter and that little bit of syrup just in the pool.
Yeah. It's a carrier. It's like the waffle fry.
I know. It's fantastic. I don't know.
All right. We got a guest coming in.
I think I could do probably 8 to 10. But yeah, it's been a lot of time there doing what we have to do. Yeah. Yeah, it would be tough. Anyways, appreciate y'all watching, listening, however you may be watching or listening. Again, follow us all over social media on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all that good stuff at Chatt It Up Sports with chat with 2 T's, of course, because we are based here in the great city of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Yes, Garrett's got his Chattanooga sweatshirt on.
Yes, sir.
And we got our 423 hat here as well. Somebody complimented us over the weekend at Party Foul about the 423 hat. Fantastic. Shout out to the Chattanooga softball team.
It's like limited edition. You can't find those.
No,
apparently.
you can't find those.
Oh, dog.
You can't find those. Specialty. So follow us all over there. Subscribe on YouTube. And we have a special guest coming up on, I believe he's going to be with us on Thursday.
On Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He'll be with us on Thursday. So that'll be fun. And it'll be Sam Stedman, right?
Yep.
Local Chattanooga artist. So again, look out for that. He's also got the Smash Boys food truck.
Yep.
Which is going to be fun. So we're going to talk to him about that. But as always, it's been fun for Joseph Guthrie behind the scenes, pushing all the buttons and keeping us going. Appreciate you, Joseph. His mic wasn't working today, but it is what it is. Garrett Tolley, Chase Green. I'm Greg Larnard. You can follow all of us on social media as well. Again, just follow Chatt It Up Sports and you'll see us tagged in various places. Follow wherever you maybe want to follow and listen to us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. 5 stars, nothing less. Tell a friend. Have a great day. Again, this has been Chatt It Up Sports. Peace and love. We'll catch you next time.